You know, when you think of a beach, you think of sun, sand, good times, right? Well, not this one. This one is known for its ghosts. Today, we're talking about Dumas Beach, a place that looks ordinary by day, but holds a really dark, buried history that locals swear comes alive after the sun goes down.
And that right there? That's the first clue in this whole story. It's some seriously chilling advice given to a young man named Mayor from his own grandmother. Advice that he and his friends are, you guessed it, about to completely ignore. For the people who actually live there, this isn't just some spooky campfire story. It's a genuine rule for survival.
All right, so let's set the scene. We've got 5 college friends who are just bored. They're tired of the usual vacation spots. And it's Mayor who throws out this wild idea, something with a bit of an edge. Why not take a trip to the infamous haunted beach right near his hometown?
So, as you can imagine, this idea kind of splits the group. Kushal is all in, totally thrilled. But Ria? She's on the other end of the spectrum, absolutely against staying overnight. And then you've got Neil, the deep thinker of the group, who just nails it. He says every story starts with fear, then curiosity. And to get everyone on board, they make a deal, a really crucial one. They'll go, but it's a day trip only. They promise to be home before sunset, a promise they won't be able to keep.
Okay, so this brings us to the secret of the black sand. When the friends get there, it's not what you'd expect. It's not spooky or empty. It's a full-on carnival. There are families everywhere, food vendors, kids with balloons. It feels completely normal. But something is definitely off. You can see it right away.
And it's Ria who first asks the question that's on everyone's mind. Why is the sand so black? It's not the usual golden or white color you see at a beach. It's this weird, unsettling dark gray. Neil even points out how strange it feels under his feet, almost like it's not solid. And that one little observation is the first crack in this happy, sunny facade.
The answer, well, it's absolutely horrifying, and it's literally right under their feet. Meyer finally tells them the beach's dark secret. For centuries, this whole area was a shmashana, a Hindu cremation ground. That black color? It's the ash from countless funeral pyres, all mixed in with the sand. And the legend says the spirits of people who didn't get proper final rites are trapped here, just waiting.
So you've got this wild split personality, right? This beach has 2 completely different realities. During the day, it's a tourist spot. It's full of life. But as soon as that sun starts to set, the locals clear out. The fishermen won't even take their boats out. They know that when darkness falls, the beach belongs to something else. The carnival for the living becomes a graveyard for the dead.
So while they're all trying to wrap their heads around this guy shows up. He's wearing a tattered shirt, collecting plastic bottles. His eyes just look exhausted, and his voice is cold. And he says this to them, this really cryptic, chilling thing. He says, many people are sleeping down below. He's basically confirming everything. His whole vibe just unnerves them completely. He's like a living ghost on a haunted shore.
And this is where things really start to go wrong. The group divides. Just as the afternoon light is starting to fade, Kushal spots something way down at the other end of the beach, some old ruins. And he is desperate to go check them out. The sun is sinking, everyone's feeling uneasy, but he insists. And this right here, this is the moment their whole plan just falls apart. And just like that, the group fractures. Ria gets this overwhelming feeling of dread and just says, no way, I'm not going. Erav sees how upset she is, so he stays behind with her. Neil starts walking with Mayur and Kushal, but he gets spooked seeing how far they're going and turns back. And that leaves the 2 most adventurous friends, Mayur and Kushal, pushing forward, all alone, just as the daylight is failing. And boom, that's it. The day trip is officially over. Now it's a nightmare on the haunted shore. By the time Mayor and Kushal finally decide to turn back from the ruins, it's not dusk anymore, it's pitch black. They try to follow their own footprints, but the beach just seems to go on forever. All the landmarks are gone. They are totally, completely lost.
You can just imagine the panic setting in, right? They whip out their phones, but the calls to their friends keep cutting out. Then, one by one, their batteries die. They realize with this dawning horror that they've just been walking in circles, trapped on this endless stretch of black sand with the sound of the roaring sea, and it is getting cold.
And then, it just gets worse and worse and worse. It starts small. A soft, kinda sweet voice whispers Kushal's name, but it sounds like it's coming from everywhere at once. Then, it gets terrifyingly personal. A different voice calls out to Mayur.
a voice he knows. By midnight, the air fills with this unmistakable smell, the smell of a funeral pyre. And this is the moment the terror becomes deeply personal. Mayur turns to a shaking Kushal and tells him that the voice he's hearing is his grandmother's. But here's the thing, she didn't just die, she vanished from a field 8 years ago. They never found her body, and now her voice is calling his name on this beach.
After that, it's just a total assault on their senses. I mean, everything comes at them at once. They see these shadowy figures dressed in white. A pack of a dozen howling dogs appears out of nowhere, surrounds them, and then just vanishes. They hear the ghostly chants of a funeral procession. They see burning figures running at them, chasing them into the water. And just when they think it can't get any crazier, some giant glowing shape rises up out of the ocean. And that's it. Overwhelmed by terror and exhaustion, they just collapse.
Okay, so what happens next? They're found at dawn. See, back at the entrance, Neil, Ria, and Arav had sounded the alarm. So the next morning, a search party with the police and Mayur's uncle starts combing the beach, heading toward those old ruins where the boys were last seen.
And the way they find them? It's just grim. There they are, near the water's edge, miles from where they started. Mayur and Kushal. They're completely unconscious, their clothes are soaked, and they're just covered in wet black sand. They're alive, but barely.
What happens after they're found is, well, it's brutal. They don't even wake up until that afternoon, and when they do, they both have these raging fevers. It takes them days to get better physically, but the psychological scars, those are still there. When they could finally talk, they told the story of that night, and you could just see the terror in their eyes. To this day, Mayur says he's still haunted by the phantom smell of burning wood. It wakes him up screaming.
So the story of these 5 friends is really this chilling reminder of Dumas Beach's 2 realities, a playground for the living and a prison for the dead. It kind of leaves you with this one haunting question. Maybe some places are just so full of history, so full of tragedy, that they can never really let go of their past. Can they?